WXCO 98.9, Wausau's real news and great conversation. Here's your Daily News Roundup.
For WXCO News, I'm Isabella Nieto. Hundreds lined Rib Mountain Drive over the weekend for a protest against ICE. It was one of many protests happening in Wisconsin on Saturday and one of hundreds nationwide. Marathon County Democratic Party Chair Nancy Stencil was there.
I was thinking, maybe 100 people show up, and there were over 500 people that showed up. So many young people.
The protests come in the wake of federal immigration officials fatally shooting Green Bay native Alex Preddy on January 24th. And after 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father were detained by immigration officers in Minnesota and held at an ICE facility in Texas a few days prior. Stencil says Saturday's protest reflected on those events. She said one person brought a sign that stood out.
The one that struck me the most is somebody had, it was computer generated, but it showed a little boy in the, I call them Nazi pajamas, that was behind bars, and then it showed Liam with his rabbit hat standing on the other side, and they're looking at each other.
The father and son were released following a judge's order and have been returned to Minneapolis as of Sunday. She says there were some counter-protesters expressing support for ICE.
Across the street, there was, I think, 3 people over there, and then there was it was either 2 or 3 younger men standing in the crowd holding a Trump and Vance sign. And they just stood there. They didn't really heckle anybody. They were respectful.
She says organizers of the event are planning another protest towards the end of the month. It's Career and Technical Education, or CTE, month in Wisconsin, and the Wisconsin Department of Workforce Development and the State Department of Financial Institutions are celebrating the role career and technical education plays in preparing students for success. CTE helps improve academic performance, increases graduation rates, and provides students with the skills and real-world experiences needed to succeed in post-secondary education and high-demand careers. CTE programs across the state collaborate with business and industry partners to meet evolving workforce needs, support local economic growth, and prepare students for career fields expected to grow in the coming years. The Wausau School District offers CTE programs at the high school and middle school levels, including programs in agriculture, family and consumer sciences, technology and engineering, business, marketing, and more. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources encourages Wisconsinites to learn about flood risks across the state and available flood insurance options this week during Flood Insurance Awareness Week. Because flooding has historically been the state's most common natural hazard, homeowners should prepare for the spring season and look into flood insurance. Most national flood insurance program policies include a standard 30-day waiting period before coverage begins. You can contact your local zoning administrator or search their address on FEMA's MAP Service Center to learn about flood risk in your area. Additional resources on flood insurance and flood risk mitigation are available on the Wisconsin Office of the Commissioner of Insurance's Flood Insurance and Disasters web pages. Another candidate for state lawmaker has thrown their hat in the ring. John Kroll is running to represent the 85th Assembly District, which represents large parts of Wausau and Weston. Kroll currently serves on the Marathon County Board, but is giving up his seat. In a statement, Kroll took aim at the Republican-controlled state legislature, saying they've, quote, been siding with big corporations and billionaires, leaving hardworking Wisconsinites behind. Kroll could face incumbent Representative Pat Snyder, who hasn't announced re-election plans yet. Snyder won re-election in 2024 in a race against Yi-Lang Xiong, who has announced his bid for state treasurer. Marathon County contractors can get free lead contractor training through the County Health Department and the City of Wausau. According to an announcement, the trainings are aimed at helping contractors learn lead-safe work practices and earn state certifications required for renovation and lead abatement work in pre-1978 housing and child-occupied facilities. The courses will take place at the department's office in Wausau. They include lead OSHA, lead safe renovator, lead abatement worker, and lead abatement supervisor training courses. The courses are free with a $100 deposit cash only if the participant doesn't attend the training. To register, visit marathoncounty.gov/health or the Marathon County Health Department's Facebook page. Dozens of the 575 federally recognized Native American tribes are making it easier to get tribal IDs by waiving fees, lowering the age of eligibility, and printing cards on the spot. Experts say it's the first time tribal ID cards have been widely used as proof of U.S. citizenship and protection against federal law enforcement. It comes after reports of immigration agents stopping and detaining tribal members have popped up in the last month. I'm Isabella Nieto for WXCO News.
With Civic Media News, I'm Terry Miller. It's Election Day in Wisconsin, and the big race is for the state Supreme Court. The most recent Marquette poll showed Chris Taylor ahead of Maria Lazar among likely voters, though nearly half were still undecided, and no new polls have come out since then. Across the state, there are about 75 school referendum questions on the ballot. Polls are open until 8 tonight, and voters can still get a voting ID at the DMV if they need one. Find out where to vote and what's on your ballot at myvote.wi.gov. Once again, that's myvote.wi.gov. The future of WU System President Jay Rothman could be decided today. WisPolitics reports the Board of Regents is meeting in private today to consider firing him after Rothman said in emails last week he'd been told to resign or face termination. Rothman, who's been in the job since 2022, said he's still unsure of the reason. The president of the Regent Board says he was given notice and the talks were part of an ongoing performance review. And Wisconsin is moving forward on PFAS cleanup after Governor Tony Evers signed a bipartisan plan unlocking $125 million. That money will help towns and homeowners test and treat water for the so-called forever chemicals. About $80 million goes to community grants, and $35 million will help private well owners fix contamination. Lawmakers on both sides say it's a big step to protect safe, clean drinking water across the state. More news is available at civicmedia.us.
Tempers flare in Boston. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with Sports Baseball. The Brewers came back to win 8-6 over the Red Sox. Bottom of the third, Brewers starter Brandon Woodruff hit batter Wilson Contreras, the brother of William, on the hand. Contreras claimed it's the 6th time Woodruff has hit him with a pitch and that he gets beaned by the Brewers all the time.
It's not just a hit by pitch. That's the 24th time that they hit me in my career, 24th. And that's the 6th time they hit me. And they always say, I'm not trying to hit you. That get old. So next time they hit me again, I'm going to take one of them out. And that's a measure.
We asked Brandon Woodruff for his response.
It's, we've been through that. This is 9 years for me, and it seems like every year. He's trying to play a game, and he's trying to get, his side fired up, which is fine. But once I knew what was going on, I wasn't going to let it affect me on the mound.
Game 2 of the series tonight. NBA, the Bucks in Brooklyn to play the Nets. With Sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
It is going to be sunny today with a high in the upper 30s to low 40s this afternoon. Tonight, a little light snow late tonight. We'll get less than an inch of accumulation with a low dropping down to the mid to upper 20s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Some rain and freezing rain early, then warmer with a high in the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable.
That's your Wausau News Roundup from WXCO. Find more news anytime at WXCO.FM. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts.